has 872 yards on the season. Guess how many of those yards he has in the last 2 games, and arguably their biggest games of the season?
I want to say probably 390, 400.
You're right on the dot. 401 and 3 TDs in 2 games. So he has half of his yards on the season in the last 2 games. He has been unbelievable. And I'm really excited for next season because I do think Donovan Edwards will be a legitimate. We're talking about Blake Corum being a Heisman candidate. Look out for Donovan Edwards because he's special, man. Not only what
Next
he can
year?
do. Yeah, next year. I'm saying it right now. He's going to be in that conversation. He's electric. In 2 of the biggest games, banged up with a cast, you have 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's unbelievable. It really is. And in both those games as well, he's averaged against Purdue 7.4 yards per carry. And then Ohio State, it was 9.8 yards per carry, thanks to those 2 big, huge runs at the end of the game. But still, Donovan Edwards, man, he's a bad, bad man.
I'll say this. What Donovan Edwards has provided Michigan is stability. When you lose Blake Corum, that is so difficult. And you saw it against Illinois. Was it Illinois? I believe it was Illinois. Second half, right? Am I missing this, guys? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe it was Illinois.
I don't know if he played at Illinois.
No, he didn't. But I'm saying you saw what Michigan looked like in the second half without Blake Corum.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Stokes and
yes. Yeah. And then you show up to Ohio State and you're like, well, we haven't seen Donovan Edwards in weeks. What is he going to look like? And then bang. Those 2 late carries obviously made the stat line look better than what it was, but Michigan didn't technically need him to win that game. It was actually J.J. McCarthy in the passing game. And then you saw in the Big Ten Championship, that was the standard Michigan way of playing football. Pound the rock with Donovan Edwards, and boy, did they pound it with him. He was exceptional. I thought that game was more impressive for Donovan than Ohio State was. Yeah. So, look, he's brought them the stability that Blake Corum gave them. He brings them a balance. He's also more dynamic than Blake in terms of catching balls out of the backfield.
He's a little more explosive. Those huge runs.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. So, it's crazy to think that in a world you lose Blake Corum, who was a Heisman candidate at one point. Mm-hmm. You lose him, and you don't miss a beat because the guy behind him arguably is a better talent.